Hey everyone, this is me, Undead Viking. I want to talk to you about this game. It's called Quests of Valeria. Quests of Valeria is the latest in the Daily Magic Games Valeria line, a line of games that is vastly popular with the gaming crowd. This is a game that is focusing upon, it's weird. It's like when I played it, all of a sudden I had this feeling of that I was playing Lords of Waterdeep, but not really, because there's no like worker placement. This is a card game. But basically, each person has a guild master, and there are different quests that are troubling Valeria. And these guild masters need to go out and they need to hire different adventurers that will then go on these quests and complete them, earning that guild master fame and fortune. Now, so it kind of, as you can see, if you play Lords of Waterdeep, it's kind of like you can see the connection there. But I enjoyed this game tons more than I enjoy Lords of Waterdeep, a game that I do not particularly care for. And so I like the fact that they took that kind of that theme, that fantasy theme of like these lurkers behind the shadows, hiring these adventurers and getting them to do their bidding, and use that and did it in a game that I actually enjoyed. So there you go. But let me show you how Quests of Valeria is played. It's a relatively simple card game, but as I'll explain, it has some like depth and meat on the bone, if you will. And then we'll come back here and I'll talk more about why I dig it. All right, cool. Alright, this is Quests of Valeria, and what you see in front of you is what the game board would look like for a 4-player game, just about ready to begin. These are the starting adventurers or citizens that you can hire and put in your tableau, so then you can then use them to complete the quests, which you can see right here. And these cards will rapidly change with everybody's turn, and you will replenish them from the decks that you see up here. This tavern token here, or card there, reminds you of the cost it takes to hire the people in this tavern. So you can see there's a 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. If you wanted to hire the mercenary over here, then it would cost 3 cards. You have to discard 3 cards to do that. If you wanted to hire any of these, it would be then 2, 2, 1, 1, and the warlord wouldn't cost you anything. Now, there is a very fine distinction between what happens when cards you hire are going to go in front of you. And those are the cards that you can then expend to use on a quest that you've undertaken. Cards that you draw, because you are allowed to draw cards from this deck as an action, and also other cards will allow you to do that. Like, say here, the wizard, when you hire him, he has a little D on there. That means you get to draw a card. These, and also like when you complete quests, drawing cards might be a reward for doing so. Like you can see right here, this one, the Expedition to the Withered Peaks, you get 3 points, but you also get to draw a card. So you'll be drawing cards and you'll be putting those into your hand. The hand, those are the cards that you'll be like discarding, like resources, to be able to hire these adventurers. And you might notice there's this little thing here, there's a 2 there. If you want to hire a card from your hand, you have to discard 2 cards to be able to do that. There also are cards like this warlord here at the very beginning. There's the strength, like the numbers that are in these boxes will denote like basically their power, what they can be used to fuel a completion of a quest. Like here's this quest of impersonate the governor's cleric, and you can see you would need 1, 1, and 1. So you would have to have adventurers or citizens in front of your tableau that would first satisfy, like you have a 1 in yellow, 1 in blue, 1 in red. And we'd also have them have a subterfuge hero as well, and that's like the little symbols are. And it's pretty straightforward. It's not, it's as far as because everything's based off of icons. So it's pretty readily available as far as what you're going to need. But as I was saying, this warlord has this little equal sign there, and for the warlord to determine how much resources as far as this battle or this strength red score would be, it would be the number of cards that you would discard out of your hand would equal that have a red type on them. That would equal how powerful that particular warlord is. At the beginning of the game, each person will be handed a Guildmaster card. This is a random, you don't get to pick this, and nobody should know what it is. You should keep this face down in front of you. This will be your bonus points for completing certain types of quests. Like here's Guildmaster 2, you gain 1 bonus point for adventure and commerce quests completed. You'll notice at the bottom of the quest, like you'll have a little icon down there, or a little word, like that's an adventure quest. Over here, this is a commerce quest, and so forth. And so as you collect those, you're going to want to try to angle your way towards getting the ones that you're going to get bonus points. And of course, there's different combos: adventure and subterfuge, adventure and battle, battle and subterfuge, commerce and subterfuge, and battle and commerce. Now, if you are just always going after the ones that you need, there is a chance that the other players will catch on to that, and they will try to block you from doing so. So you might want to keep that hidden as far as like your intentions are, because you don't want to give away your hand, if you will. So on your turn, you get 2 actions, and the 2 actions have to be one of the 4 things. And you can repeat these actions if you so desire. You can draw a card, which, just draw a card. You can hire a citizen, which is just, once again, like paying the cost to hire the citizen, and then picking them up and putting them into your hand. You can reserve a quest. That means you just take one of these quests that is listed there, or reset the quest, which means you take all of the quests, get rid of them, and then replenish them back out with 6 brand new quests. Or you can complete a quest, which would allow you to discard all the citizens that you need to, consider that quest completed. So just, easily draw a card. You just draw a card and put it in your hand. I mean, that's that difficult. I mean, hiring, I've already gone over that as far as, but you have to remember always that certain things have like ability, like right away an ability that it gives you. So like, you notice how this warlord has this H on the bottom here. And then it says, this is that's the ability that allows you to hire another hero. So you could, as an action, because it costs 0, I'm going to hire the warlord, and then when you hire them, you get their special ability right away. And so then, if I wanted to, I could grab this mercenary. Normally it would cost me 3, but in this case it doesn't cost me anything because of the fact that I'm able to hire him because of the warlord's ability. And then, because I can see, I'm kind of angling towards a possible battle heavy quest, I can go ahead and look at the ones I have available to me. I have both the subterfuge hero now and a warrior hero, and so I could maybe perhaps take this expedition to the Withered Peaks, which would be because of the fact that there's that warrior, or I could go after this one. And I kind of actually like this impersonate the governor's cleric, because of the fact that I only need 1 more to complete it, because of the fact that I have both, as you can see, the coin and the battle to do it, and I just need to get a wizard one, one of these like spellcaster ones to be able to do it. So then I'd go ahead and put that in front of me as well. Now, when you draw cards into your hand, you have a hand size of 9 maximum. That's what you have to have. If you have ever more that, you do have to discard down. There is no limit to the number of quest cards you can have in front of you. You just keep on collecting them all you want, and because of the fact that you can collect those quest cards, you can then keep other quests out of other people's hands by doing so. Now, after you've completed your turn and done your 2 actions, it is your job then, before it goes to the next person, you slide everything down. Now, normally, there would, I don't have a marker there, but we knew that we took one at the beginning. Remember that. And then we slide it down, and then we replenish the line. So we're going to go ahead and add, here's a merchant and a summoner. And so we're going to go ahead and put those on there. And we also have to replenish the adventure that we took. So we're going to go ahead and take an adventure off the top. And we're going to go ahead, and this looks like it's stand against the Corsairs. Ooh, that's a pretty good one. It's because you get to draw 3 cards if you succeed it. Pretty nice. So you do that, and once you're done, then it goes to the next person's turn, and they will do the exact same thing. Play will continue like this until one person has completed 5 quests. Once one person has completed 5 quests, everybody will get one last turn, as far as like the starting player. So whoever started, whoever got the starting player card, like, if they're the ones that ended, everybody else would get one last turn. Basically, you do that like you're playing a 4-player game, and the third player finished the game by finishing their fifth quest. The fourth player would get one more turn, but players number 1 and 2 would not, because then they would have an extra turn, and that would not be equal. So basically, the whole thing is that to make everybody gets the same amount of turns to be able to accumulate the same number of chances to get points. Other than that, that is all there is to it as far as the rules are concerned. But obviously, due to the fact that we have this giant deck of characters here, that are just like all these different types of adventurers and what have you, that have special powers and abilities and what have you, and the fact that we have tons and tons of quests as well, there's a lot more to it than that. As you're playing the game, the big thing about this is that because it is a race, the first person to complete 5 quests is going to trigger the end game. Because of that, you are going to be trying to be as efficient as possible. You never want to have to go several turns without actually accomplishing something. You don't want to do something where you aren't completing quests. That's the biggest thing. You want to get to that point of completing quests, because you have to do that 5 times to put yourself in good contention to win. You don't have to complete all 5 to win. We've definitely had games where other players, because of the fact that they were able to choose quests that either were more valuable or tied in more closely with their particular guildmaster ability, they were able to win even though they didn't complete 5. But since the quests give out 3 or 2 or whatever, by and large, a better chunk of points, the quicker you complete your quests, the better off you're going to be having a chance to win. Like I said, I like games that have this efficiency model. I also like the fact that even though this has a very simple rule set for a game, it is very challenging, and it has a lot of hidden depth that kind of rewards you through repeated plays. But obviously, I dig it. I dig the art. I love what they're doing with this line of games. But let me talk more about that in my conclusion, which I'll do right now. Alright, thank you very much for learning how to play Quests of Valeria. Like I said, it isn't all that difficult of a game to accomplish. You are going to run into some situations where, since it's iconography that's on the cards, you might have to refer to. They are kind enough to include a little player's aid that will tell you, there's a lot of ones. The only ones that I had trouble with is some of the ones there's these arrows that kind of point left or right, and I was kind of trying to figure that out. And so basically an arrow that pointed left was take the blank from the blank. So let me see if I can find a card here so I can show you. But because they would tell you. So here's here's a card that it said this is an assassin, okay, right? And so it has this little C with a cross through it, and it has left arrow, and it has this little person sitting there. You can kind of tell that. And I was like, what the heck? I was like cross out a C and a little meeple guy, and then I actually looked at, of course, look at the rules, Undead Viking. Maybe you'll figure it out. And then I was like, oh, it's take, it's you look up C, and it's discard a citizen card, so it's that's what the little C with the cross through it, and it says take, the left, so make, and then the little meeple guy is a player's tableau of your choice. And so what it is that you're forcing somebody to discard one of their heroes that they've hired, basically because the assassin is going over there and slaughtering them. And it was oh, well, thematically, it totally makes sense because it's the assassin. And also, it's one of those things where it's it's somewhere you mess with people. And once I kind of realized that, and realized that the iconography, as long as you actually look and determine it, it's actually pretty straightforward. The game kind of opened itself up another level of fun and interest and what have you, peeling the onion, as I reference a lot. So why do I like it? Because it doesn't take long to set up. It isn't some big giant thing where it's I have to, it isn't a deck building game where I have to separate 17 different decks of cards and figure it out. It's you shuffle the 2 decks, you throw everything out, give everybody a guildmaster, and you're ready to go. The game's ready to go in about 5 minutes. Once everybody's played it once, they're going to know the game easily because of the fact that there's only 4 options that you have as far as your actions that you take in a turn. You only pick 2. And like I said, and then it just becomes an efficiency engine. And I like efficiency games. Games that basically reward you for getting the maximum amount done in the smallest number of steps possible. And I enjoy those because I think it appeals to my nature a little bit as far as trying to shorten the gap, shorten the distance. Like when I was a delivery driver, when I delivered pizzas, I would always try to determine the quickest path to get where I had to go. Whether, and instead of just like saying, taking a roundabout, like I'm going to go to the freeway because it's quicker to like jump on the freeway and then head there and get off. And I was like, no, I think if you kind of like wander through these back roads or whatever, and you can get there because it's efficient. I found that to be just like an efficiency situation, and I kind of maybe I have a little bit of a stickiness or like a sticky wicket in my brain as far as like trying to figure those things out. But these types of games appeal to that nature of me because I'm always trying to figure out the quickest path between, it's like, which 2 actions do I have to do that's going to get me those resources the quickest, so then I can turn them in and get another card and then move on to the next adventure card, and so get that done quickly. And it is a race game. It is a challenge game, and like I said, it has just enough little player interaction where you can throw a wrench into somebody's efficiency engine, if you will, to gum up their works a little bit and slow them down, so you can crawl over them and get ahead of them. So there isn't a ton of that. There isn't a ton of take that in the game. But there's just enough to make it feel like I'm not helpless if somebody's actually getting ahead of me. I don't feel like there's like nothing I can do, to catch up to them. So, and that's good. I mean, it's good that they offer up that small amount of salting the earth for your friend's garden next door. But regardless, I think if you like the other Valeria games in this line, I think you're really gonna like this one. The artwork is still the same. It's like it's very evocative. I do like these thematic. Like companies that are doing these thematic like games of a line, if you will, this Valeria line. Floodgate Games has kind of like that epic resort world, with Vault Wars and stuff like that. Things like that. I like that they're doing that because when you open up the game and you look at it, it's like you realize that like there's a continuation there. It's like everything kind of it's its own substance, if you will. I kind of like that. And they didn't have to do that. I mean, this game would stand alone regardless. If they had decided not to use adventurers and made it with, space overlords and like you had the like 4 or 5 different alien races or things like that you hired to do your little like planetary missions, it would work just fine, and the game would still be a heck of a lot of fun. But because they took the time and they took the effort to go ahead and make it part of that line, I think it adds a lot to the enjoyment factor, at least for me. So there you go. If you have any questions about Quests of Valeria, I'd love to hear those, and I can answer those to the best of my ability. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. And until next time, I'm the Undead Viking, and I'm telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye.